Welcome back, everybody. House Party 5v5. We've got the last game of Week 1, Premier League Season 4 coming at ya. I'm going to be your colorcaster, Thunderdome.
And I'll be handling play-by-play once again. My name is Captain Flowers, and here's hoping we're going to have another exciting match on our hands, Thunder.
Oh, I'm super excited for it, although these previous games today have all been absolutely ridiculous. So many good plays for each member on the team, as well as their cohesive acting as units. Bar set pretty high for this game, but I believe it'll come through.
We will be having Team 7 and the Beetle Bandits. Not very familiar with either one of these teams, mostly because I'm a new shoutcaster to the entire organization here at House Party 5v5, so I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys bring to the table. But this is the first game, Thunder, where we're seeing some more solo QE type of bands come out. This is the first game we've seen the Darius band.
He's a great carry in the meta right now. So powerful in team fights. He's got a great laning phase, all the damages, all the tankiness. He's got a little bit of crowd control and an execute. So he gets pretty oppressive pretty quickly. Ken and Victor being very powerful AoE mages in terms of zone control and bursting people down. So you can see why they might be taken off the table. On the other hand, Gnar and Rumble, staples of the top lane for multiple seasons. I mean, Gnar's new, but spring and summer splits, he's been a very popular pick and extremely powerful champion.
Juggernaut's going to be locked in onto the side of Beetle Bandits. This is a solo queue player's nightmare. Mordekaiser and Skarner, pick number 1 and pick number 2.
That's pretty disgusting when it comes down to it. Skarner gets to play Dominion on Summoner's Rift. He gets to choose one player on the other team and says, you don't get to play League of Legends today. He impales you with a Crystal Spike, and you pretty much get killed by the team. The synergy coming out from Skarner and Mordekaiser is pretty scary too, because once they pick that champion they want, Mordekaiser then gets to reanimate them as a ghost that fights for their team. So it becomes a 4 versus 6 very, very quickly.
Beetle Bandits. I'm just now reading the chat. I'm so sorry, my friend, for mispronouncing that. It's actually in our chart as Beetle Bandits. I forgive...
Hashtag Dave
I hope you
can't
forgive
spell.
me for that. Because it was actually spelled with 2 T's. I'm going to correct that immediately. I was kind of wondering what a Beetle was and why it would be a bandit, but now I'm much more well-versed. Beetle Bandits. All right, the Beetle Bandits going to be rocking the red team here.
Alrighty, and another thing to note, Malkathos is the captain of Beetle Bandits, and they rebranded from Northern Hospitality, if I'm not mistaken.
Another rebranded team. Well, the last time we had a rebranded team here on this stage, Thunder, we had a game that lasted for 66 minutes. Is that going to be the reality here, you think?
I'm not sure, although this is a very late game oriented composition coming out from both teams. We can only see 6 of the 10 champions. Mordekaiser is pretty relevant throughout the entire thing, but late game he is huge. He's unkillable. He has so much damage. Same goes for Skarner. Gangplank, on the other hand, a lot of damage. Not as tanky, but if he can start one-shotting, two-shotting people, taking them out of the fight, he gets super scary once he gets those items built. And Vayne, not much to say there. You know how strong she is late game if you play League of Legends.
Beetle Bandits. Oh, looks like we have some sort of disconnect here in the lobby or something?
I believe so. One of the members has quit.
Uh-oh.
I don't know
exactly what we were looking for. I had a really good comment to make there, too. It was nice and punny, and now we're not going to get to experience it. Looks like we do have a computer crash on the side of Beetle Bandits, so hopefully he'll be back online here in just a second. And then once he is, we'll be able to get back in to the picks and bans. We'll be on a short break, but we'll be live here in just a couple minutes. Stay right there. You don't want to miss it.
All right,
All
we're
right,
back
guys,
live.
welcome back.
Okay, so the teams will have to choose the same bands, the same picks that they had previously locked in before the game crash happened. You're not allowed to change anything up on that just to prevent any kind of last-minute strategy revamps. Don't want to give any unfair advantages to either side. Back at it again. Beetle Bandits on the red team. Blue team. Oh. Wow. What is air? I can't breathe it. Blue team, we've got Team 7.
Beetle Bandits running a very powerful catch composition right now. They are bandits, so you expect them to run away with somebody, but with the team comp they've got right now, they're not looking to abduct things, they're looking to abduct people. Skarner and Blitzcrank together has the ability to not only pull someone with that blitz grab, but then lock them down with no escape whatsoever through Skarner. And Lysandra, again, a wonderful pick into a catch-style comp to just lock these people down, find the pick-off with the long-range CC, and make it happen.
This is such an interesting comp coming out of Beetle Bandits. I've yet to see something quite like it. Like you said, there's so much lock, and they just pick one person, and they obliterate them through crowd control, through huge burst potential as well. It's just very well-rounded in terms of team fighting and how they're going to get their kills. Just pick one member and focus them. They do have a decent bit of AoE zone control in terms of Lysandra's has got the root, Blitzcranky's got silence, but they are centered on the individual champions. So it could be difficult trying to get into the melee range to fight as a team, but that's why they've got Blitzcrank. He can pull him right to you. Skarner can pull him right to you.
The big concern for this Beetle Bandit squad, if you look at them, they're incredibly low range on all these champions. If we see some sort of long-range mage come out onto the side of Team 7, it could be impossible to answer, but it looks like Talon is going to be the champion of choice to fill the mid lane role for that Team 7.
Fight fire with fire. They want to choose all these close-range skirmishy champions. What do? You choose a better close-range skirmishy champion. Talon, he's going to go invisible. You can't find him. If you can't see him, you can't lock him down. And then he pops out of the Shroud of Darkness, hits you with a bunch of blades, assassinating your main member, and then he usually gets out scot-free, or he goes down too, but at that point it's worth the trade, because you've got Gangplank and Bane just dishing out huge amounts of AD attack damage into the back line, into the front lines, and you've got Braum and Nunu to protect the Vayne as well.
I'm going to be very, very disappointed in Beetle Bandits if I do not see multiple upgraded sweepers for them by the time the mid-game gets rolling, simply because Vayne and Talon are so heavily shut down by Invis Detect. The way those champions function in a team fight, the way they fulfill their job, is by getting in there, doing their damage, and using that invisibility to get away. Upgraded sweepers are going to be Beetle Bandits' ticket to shutting CRS, Mycroft. I wish they would stop trading the champions around so violently. I can't tell who's actually supposed to be there, but they're going to be the ticket to shutting Vayne and Talon out of that safety in team fights.
And that's why I like seeing on the Nunu here, because they can set up zones of protection. If Nunu drops his ice channel in one of the, assuming it's in a jungle or a lane, he can completely block off one of the entrances. Yes, Lysandra might be able to sneak an ice claw past it, but Blitzcrank can't run up on you, Skarner can't run up on you, and Mordekaiser can't run up on you through that zone control. Braum, on the other hand, he can drop a Glacial Fissure, blocking off another path. And the barrel setups too from Zorak on Gangplank. There's so many ways that the team can work around this choose a target and kill it composition. I don't really know. I don't even know what you call that. The focus comp, I guess.
It's essentially a pick composition. They've got the ability to find the initiation through everybody except Mordekaiser, including the ability to just completely isolate a target through Skarner or Blitzcrank. It's a pick comp that has no real ability to do a whole lot if they don't manage to find the pick. They need to find those picks. They're not going to be able to just win a straight-up 5v5 barring a crazy engage on Vayne or something, simply because of what you mentioned about the zone control through Nunu, through Gangplank, and through that Braum. It's going to be impossible for these heavy melee targets like Skarner, like Mordekaiser, to get in and do their jobs with all of that obstructing the distance between them and Vayne.
And Vayne is one of the best champs at kiting as well, so she'll be able to maneuver around it. She can tumble out of the hook if she's paying attention. A quick QSS will fix Skarner's ult. So there's a lot more counterplay to blue side in terms of team comp, but if red side does get ahead and they do start making the initiates and they're able to advance into blue side's jungle, the battle beetles with their upgraded red sweepers will be able to counteract Vayne and Talon's invisibility mechanic and lock them down.
Yasuo also going to be a champion who's going to be capable of doing a lot this game, but in response to Yasuo having the potential to do a lot, having the potential to find the knockup onto the Vayne or onto the Talon and then delete them if he can manage to get enough items, Talon is actually a great pick to have into Yasuo, because if Talon gets the drop on Yasuo, you just kill him. You outright kill him before he can do any of his fancy dashing Haseki stuff. Over and over and over again, he just dies on the outset. So if Talon can manage to take him out of these fights, just remove him as a threat, that's going to be huge. And he's not going to have to choose between targets. You're not going to jump on and assassinate a Mordekaiser from 100 to 0. Yasuo's going to have to be very wary of this Talon.
And Mordekaiser would also be able to, if they were able to lock on Talon, and Mordekaiser having a Talon Ghost, because Talon builds heavy AD, it's going to be huge. They're going to be able to get a lot of advantages in terms of objectives after these fights if Beetle Bugs come out on top. But Team 7 has so many ways to play around it, and we'll be finding out once we load onto the Rift.
Zone control versus pick. Who's going to come out on top? Once we get into the match, you'll be the ones to know right there along with us. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's another fine day here on Summoner's Rift. Another fine day for another fine match. We've got Team 7 versus Beetle Bandits. I'm Captain Flowers, and I'll be doing your play-by-play.
And I'm Thunderdome, and I'll be doing your color casting. On the red side, we've got Beetle Bandits, now rebranded. They used to be Northern Hospitality. We've got Tommy Two Tums in the top lane as Lissandra. That's a lot of T's to say. In the jungle, we've got Galacus repping the newly OP Skarner. Mid lane, Malkathos trying to slice through them with Cold Steel on Yasuo. We've got an invade on the red side jungle, so I'll let you take over if anything happens. And nothing too much, so we're going to keep going with that. AD carry, we've got Ratbed playing the new improved Darkness tank of Mordekaiser. And on support, we've got the Fist of Death, fail mode on Blitzcrank.
Their opponents over here onto the blue side, Team 7. It's going to be Gangplank in the top lane being played by Zorak. Nunu in the jungle on Syria's Empress. The mid lane Talon looking for those kills all game long. SW9876. Vayne, the AD carry, looking to kite and kill over and over on Zhao. And Braum rounding out this squad. CRS Mycroft going to be the one looking to peel for his team, provide those Winter's Bites and those fissures to keep everybody safe.
Alrighty, and we see pretty typical starts. Jungler going with the strong side of the map. Gonna stick with their dual lane bot combos, get a quick clear. It's safer in case of invades as well, especially when you're playing into a Blitzcrank. You don't want your jungle to get soloed out early. Someone on Nunu who is all about fast clears, farming, and then setting up vision control. You can't afford to be behind.
This jungle matchup is going to be incredibly interesting because Nunu and Skarner, after Skarner's recent remake, are two of the most undisputedly powerful jungle control champions. Whichever one of them gets ahead early is going to be a nightmare for the other.
And Nunu loves to counter invade. That being said, he will get even more benefits from doing it when he takes over Skarner's shrines. He gets the extra gold and they get the vision control as well. So, if Skarner tries to play the invade game as well, Nunu will know about it, therefore not even needing to get the vision, just the pure fact that they know where Skarner was last is essentially knowing where he is on the map. So you know which lanes you can play safe and which lanes you can play aggressive.
Speaking of aggressive, Yasuo trying to find some damage onto Talon, but that knockup will not connect. Speaking of knockups, you can tell that this Beetle Bandits squad wasn't drafted with Yasuo in mind due to the fact that they only have Blitz for the knockups. Winter's Bite and Silver Bolt's going to connect onto that red side support as the pull
and he gets onto the turret!
That's a wonderful pull to be able to find, but Braum using the flash to disengage that one. They got a little too aggro, and a great pull coming out from fail mode. Definitely not living up to his name.
I think he doesn't want to set the bar too high, but here comes Siri in the mid lane, throwing the snowballs.
Into the mid lane, it's going to be the snowball dropped onto Yasuo, not able to find a whole lot after it though. The Talon not able to show up in time to grab the follow-up damage. Nunu takes a little too much damage of his own, running into that turret, but he's just going to be able to walk away from that one. Give Talon a little bit of pressure, put a little bit of damage down onto Yasuo, as Talon continues to just try to farm it up here in the mid lane. Yasuo did come into mid with only that Doron shield, so he's out of potions.
Alrighty, and definitely a solid item pickup by having the shield on the side of Malkuthos, because he will take a lot of harass from Talon early on. Just having that a little bit of extra defense is going to let him stick around in lane and avoid the all-ins. As
Talon going for that all-in onto Yasuo into the mid lane. The Ignite being dropped, Yasuo flashing away from it, not willing to risk any further damage from Talon. That's an important flash to have. Talon might not have that Ignite ready, but Ignite is a 210-second cooldown compared to the 300-second cooldown on Flash. So once that comes back up, that's going to be a 90-second window for Talon to potentially look for kills again. As Skarner shows up into the bot lane, Blitzcrank looking for something. The exhaust is down. Skarner finds the stun. Vayne dropping very, very low. Talon and Yasuo
mid lane,
their own 1v1 here in the mid side. It's going to be First Blood going over to this Beetle Bandits mid laner. As Skarner and
one more hit.
Continue to try to find the kills. It's going to be Skarner and Braum both dying, but a wonderful condemn into the wall from Vayne is going to make it so that this blue side does not end up behind. Team 7 coming out even across the map. They may have lost their mid laner, but the suicide dive coming out bot lane from Beetle Bandits is going to tie it all up.
Zhao had such a great condemn there on the back end of the dive. Just picking up an extra kill essentially for free. He's got a red buff now. He's up in CS by 10 over Mordekaiser, who's supposed to be the one who wins the lane.
Nunu showing up top lane, but he's not going to be able to find anything on Alessandro. Just happened to walk away from that one. He does grab that Stalker's Blade for a little extra gank potential. And I really don't like Skarner's decision in jungle items even a little bit. It used to be the core item for Skarner in the jungle simply because of the fact that he would need it to stay healthy. But Ranger's Trailblazer is no longer required even in the slightest. You can't run out of mana if you're in your zone. It regenerates that mana as fast as the fountain does. So the fact that you can't run out of mana really eliminates the need for the item, and I think he would have been a lot better served going for a Skirmisher's Saber or a Stalker's Blade.
Yeah, I would have gone with Stalker's Blade. He needs a way to be able to get in and get into close range to ult his targets, so stealing their speed I think is the best option. Skirmishers would be great though, because Nunu will try to invade, or will try to get up jungle pressure by putting wards down, and if you find him, having that Stalkers is going to let you solo him out. You get the true damage burn, you get the damage reduction. Nunu, not so great at fighting people.
Talon onto Yasuo once again. Yasuo has the ultimate, Talon does not. That's not a concern right now. Nunu looking for the follow-up damage. The Stalker's Blade has been popped. Chilling Smite is there. The snowball is down. Yasuo can't find the knockup, and the big ol' Yeti is going to give Yasuo the hug of death and send him straight into the gates. And that is going to be the third kill of the game coming out for Team 7.
Great recognition there. SW did not need to follow up. He knows that Siri is going to be able to secure that kill. Malkuthos already didn't have any summoners left, so there was no need for him to chase and put himself in danger of getting turned around.
Vayne and Braum finding the damage onto Mordekaiser into the bot lane. They're going to be able to land that one thanks to the Winter's Bite stun, as Ratbed ends up sleeping with the fishes instead of the rats tonight.
Ooh. I wonder if they're having ratatouille for dinner. Alright,
I don't think they
lane.
serve that in the... What's the word I'm looking for? The morgue. because that's where Mordekaiser is now posting up, spending his days, at least until he respawns and comes back to bot lane with a little bit of a newfound respect for the damage that comes out from this Team 7 bot lane combo.
What you're saying is if I wait in a morgue long enough, I'll end up in a fountain.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, I gotta try that out soon. Man, I've been missing out. We got a blue buff invade right here, using Nunu to his full extent. Siri's gonna try to secure this over with the help of CRS, Mycroft, and Zoe. Galacus, however, knows what's going on, and he does not like it.
Skarner, a champion that normally the response to how do you deal with Skarner is don't fight Skarner on his zones. Nunu doesn't even care. He's going to walk in on top of that zone and just steal it away as Talon finds the damage onto Skarner. The ultimate is there, the ignite is there, and that's going to be a nice filet de scorpion for Talon, his first kill of the game.
Man, we should just start a restaurant at this point.
Oh, absolutely. These food puns are off the hook.
And they're serving Dragon. Team 7 getting their first one, using early Nunu jungle pressure to secure this. They've taken out Galacus on Skarner. Beetle Bandits does not have a way to test this whatsoever. And top lane, however, Tommy Two Tums could be their saving grace. He is ahead in terms of lane pressure. He's down a little in CS.
Final hour has been popped. A wonderful pull by Blitzcrank onto Vayne, drags her into the turret. Mordekaiser ultimate has been dropped. That's going to be one kill already found onto the side of the Beetle Bandits. They're looking to grab some more, but the Gangplank ulti going to kite them off. The Vayne Ghost is there, but she's not spooky enough. She can't grab the kill quite yet. It's going to be a 1 for 0 as Zhao mispositions himself. A costly mistake.
Oh wow, I didn't know you could actually proc the bullets there, but Rapid going ham on Mycroft.
The Ghosts do actually have the passive abilities of the champions they're generated from. They don't have the actives. Obviously, you can't make the Ghost tumble, but the passive abilities do actually show up. It's pretty crazy.
That's so clutch to have that picked into a Vayne. Late game, having that an extra Vayne Ghost on your team? Oh, wow. But the problem is, if Team 7 keeps this pressure up, it's not going to get to late game.
Team 7 doing a wonderful job realizing that they have a Nunu on their team and playing around it so well. A lot of times in solo queue, you'll see people pick a Nunu, but then the team doesn't play aggressive enough to facilitate it working early on. Team 7 not falling into that trap. They know that they've got him in the jungle. They know that he shines early, and they're wanting to allow him to do that shining and make it so they have a really easy transition into the mid game.
And they're making so many rotations on this. Nunu hasn't picked up a Sightstone yet. I would love to see that as his next item to continue facilitating the early pressure. Now, Tommy Two Tums looking for a dive here on Zorak with his help of the Galacus. They do have the lockdown. Lissandra can target the ult, chain that with Skarner, or she can ult herself to drop the turret aggro.
Skarner showing up here into the top lane. It's going to be an immediate flash coming out for Zorak. Skarner has such a difficult time dealing with Gangplank because of the fact that the oranges cleanse the Skarner ult. All Gangplank has to do is wait for the grab, press his W, and walk away from it. It's a nightmare for Skarner to try to deal with.
Eat orange, walk away.
At the same time, speaking of nightmares for Gangplank, Sandra's not a fun champion to lane against, not specifically because she's good against Gangplank, just because she has a ranged auto attack, so it's very difficult for him to be able to use those barrels the way he wants to.
Exactly, she gets free gold from that as well. Look at that, 10 gold, just right in the pocket, 20 gold, just because he wants to try to zone her, or even try to get some extra damage in on it. And Siege going on top, and Tommy Two Tums keeping up the pressure, making sure that this early Gangplank does not start snowballing.
Yasuo in the mid lane trying to bait out the Talon aggro. It's going to be Skarner. He's got the stun, but it's going to be Talon using the ultimate, getting himself away. He gets to safety. He actually pops the invisibility at just the right time during that cast animation for Skarner's stun and gets away as Lissandra dives on towards Gangplank. The Scurvy is going to keep him alive, and she runs out of mana. Gangplank survives it. He might potentially turn it around, and Skarner versus Nunu 1v1 here in the red side jungle. Can Nunu win this one? The Absolute Zero gets channeled.
Oh my
Scorpion
gosh.
is not going to be able to survive. He tries to pull Nunu to his doom, but it's all too late. The red buff brings him down, and Ciri is Empress, establishing dominion over the Skarner Kingdom.
This is gloriousness. Ciri just putting down on jungle clinic. This is how you Nunu. You get in their jungle, you mess up their flow, you don't let them get comfortable for not even a second. You get these deep wards in, you find picks, you work with your mid laners, and your bottom lane, you get roams, you get the early dragons. and you just keep harassing the enemy laners because you can always go back to the jungle and heal up.
At the same time, it's very difficult for Nunu to be able to land a gank onto Lissandra at all unless she's already committed that glacial path to playing aggressively on towards Zorak, simply because of the fact that a snowball doesn't do anything when all you're going to do is teleport 800 units away, like she's doing right there. She has avoided the damage for now, but the barrel might finally connect. The flash being forced out. She finds her way to safety, but they do get that summoner spell down. That's a huge thing to have, something that Gangplank might be able to exploit here in the next 5 minutes.
And Zorak's keeping up pretty solid on the CS. Even though he's down about 5 right now, he has not put himself too far in the hole because of Tommy Two Tum's pressure. This could
Vayne has to be careful to avoid these pulls. She is going to be able to dodge that one away. Fail mode not able to connect that time. But the bot lane, the CS difference between Vayne and Mordekaiser is the biggest difference in this game, and it's showing that this recent patch, these recent nerfs to Mordekaiser might have been enough to shove him out of bot lane dominance. Talon flashing forward onto Yasuo. He's got the ignite. He's got both hits of the ulti. It's going to be a slow bleed out for the win, Samurai. All we are is dust in the wind, they say, and that's all Yasuo is going to be for the next 25 seconds.
Oh, but CRS Minecraft gets
finds the pull onto Braum, but that's not the target you want. The Glacial Fissure is there. The exhaust down on towards Vayne. Can Mordekaiser turn this one around? He's got the ultimate drop, trying to find that base of space. It's not going to be able to connect quite yet. Vayne picks up the kill onto fail mode. Mordekaiser gets condemned backwards into that Gangplank ulti, and it's a double kill for Team 7's AD carry. Zhao showing up.
And just like that, Zorak gets extra gold. He gets, engaged
Lissandra very aggressive on towards Gangplank into the top lane. She's got the damage. She's got the ultimate. One more Ice Sickle is going to do it. And the Pirate meets a watery grave as she manages to cool him off for just the time being. The Winter's Bite and the Snowball both going to connect on towards Skarner. And with no actual gap closers, it's going to be Flash forced to be burned right here. They don't even care about this zone. Nunu is just going to munch this creep, once again denying this blue buff to Skarner.
And this roaming squad of CRS, Minecraft, and Suri is paying them dividends. They are taking the jungle of their own side, the enemy side jungle, and they're getting away with it for free. They're getting flashes as well. They're getting extra gold in their pockets, and they've got so much map control it's going to translate to easy dragons.
Dragon number 2, speak of the devil, it's up now for the second time in the game. Team 7 did manage to find the first one. Will they be able to do the same thing with the second? It doesn't look like the Beetle Bandits want to allow it to happen, no contest. Team 7 does have their top laner's teleport available. Tummy Two Tums not having that over on the side of Beetle Bandits. It's going to be Nunu looking for some aggro. The Snowball is down, but it's not Winter quite yet. No time for a Snowball fight. The rest of Team 7 just positioning around here, wanting to see if they can take control of this. They have their top laner teleport ready, but Lissandra's already here. She's finding some damage onto Talon, but it's not going to be enough to actually initiate on with. She doesn't have her ultimate ready, so she's got to be very, very careful about how far in she takes these fights.
And look at that, fail mode, instantly going to get wards over the wall. He's going to start zoning the team, say, I dare you to try to contest this. I will pull you into my team and we will single you out.
Teleport comes out from Zorak. It's Nunu into the middle of everyone now as these teams are going for a full-blown 5v5. The pull connects on towards Nunu, but that's not who you want. It's going to be Last Breath. Off into the backdrop, but Yasuo dropping very, very quickly. Blitzcrank, the first casualty of this fight as Team 7 is now taking complete control. A double kill onto Zhao. It's going to be Lissandra going down. A 2 for 5. Ace for Team 7. They lose their Empress. They lose Mycroft, but they don't care because Dragon is next on the menu.
And then they've got all their waves set up to where they're going to crash against the turrets, and then they're going to reset, denying more CS to Tommy Two Tums in the top lane. Mid lane, you see SW already roamed up there to push it in and have it bounce back. Bottom lane is already moving away from red side. Beetle Bandits are going to be at such a deficit. They don't have the jungle for gold. Their lanes right now are not in a good position for them to gain anything off of it. Tommy Two Tums is burning the teleport to even get there, and he's not even going to get any of the CS. By the time Zorak gets there, he's going to be able to pick all that up.
That was not the way that these Beetle Bandits wanted that last fight to play out. They were trying to connect. They were trying to grab that Blitzcrank pull, and that's what they really needed. They needed a Blitzcrank pull to connect onto a value target. Sometimes teams with a Blitzcrank forget the fact that that's who they're working with. Blitzcrank's usefulness is 0 if he doesn't land a pull onto a value target because he just doesn't do a lot. He doesn't have any other great CC. He doesn't do a lot of damage. Yeah, you won't die, but why do you have to target him? They need to pull Vayne or Talon or Gangplank in these fights, or else they're not going to be able to win.
And even if you pull Talon, he does have the option to flash, pop his ult and flash away. So he'll still get some damage out. So essentially the only target they really want is Vayne. SW getting
Talon and Lissandra fighting each other here into the river. It's going to be Talon popping the ult, but Lissandra healing to keep herself alive. The blades come back in. The ignite is down. Lissandra's going to be able to walk away from this one. And Gangplank's ult has something to say about it. One more volley's going to do it, and that's going to be Tummy Two Tums going down here at the 17-minute mark. The 15th kill of the game on the side of Team 7. But it looks like the Beetle Bandits are going to be able to grab their second turret in response. Oh, well, no worries on the side of Team 7 because they're going to be able to pick up the top outer in response.
The series already going to help cut that extra minion wave off. They're going to fast push that into the turret. The Battle Beetles have only got... Yeah, look, they missed the hook, and they've only got a small minion wave to siege with, and they don't have an 80
Bane's
carry.
Going to kill Mordekaiser right here if they're not careful. That is immediately going to be melted. Also finds the return damage on towards her. The last breath, excuse me, is there. A shutdown going over onto Galactus on that Skarner. That's going to be a 1-for-1 here in the bot side in a 2v4, and that's not what Beetle Bandits want. They're going to lose their tier 2 mid. They're going to lose their tier 2 top. Even if they grab the tier 2 bot, it's a lost cause overall. Well played by Zhao. He knows that they're going to get dove in a 4v2 if they just stay there. So instead, he's just going to force the 1v1, make them back, and buy his team enough time to grab those turrets.
It's such good recognition. Just the knowledge of these players to do what they're doing. To know when they have the windows of opportunity to create these scenarios. And Suri roaming up the top, getting prepped for that turret take, and SW keeps pushing it. They know that Mordekaiser can't siege. He's melee. You cannot take a turret without walking up to and hitting it, and that's extremely dangerous when the other team has a Braum. If you want to get close to that turret to hit it, you gotta go through him.
Lissandra now in a bad position here in the top lane. This is going to be Zorak's revenge. He was tired of all that bullying in the top lane. Mordekaiser trying to show up to see what he can do. Lissandra flashing away from the absolute zero. The Mordekaiser ult is down on Gangplank, and he's got to watch out and cover his own booty because Pirates cannot be concerned if they're dead. It's going to be Skarner rotating up over, and they pick off Nunu. Gangplank running for his life now with less than 100 HP to go. Can the Scorpion catch up? He's trying to move as fast as he can, but he doesn't quite have the speed yet. Will he be able to land that damage? Gangplank using that ultimate preemptively. The remove Scurvy just to get the health back up and run away. Ultimate keeps him safe as Team 7 loses 1-for-0.
That was a great rotation by the Beetle Bandits to catch him out. They saw them going for Tommy Two Tums. He says, alright guys, I'll buy you time. Just get here, give me a hand. And they show up big for him. They get a couple kills from it. Unfortunately, because they do not have the wave pressure though, Team 7 still holds on to all of their objectives they previously had.
Beetle Bandits looking to capitalize however they can, trying to find some damage onto this mid lane turret, and they pop Talon's ultimate for free. That's got to be something you're happy about. Not an excessively long cooldown on that one, but for the next 42 seconds, they don't have to worry about that bladed dive coming in from the side of Team 7. Nunu with the flash forward, the Chilling Smite is down, the Snowball is down, it's Braum trying to show up, Winter's Bite might be dropped, but he doesn't want to steal that kill away from his Empress. That's going to be Nunu and Braum on the right, Glorious pop, the Glacial Fissure is there, the Flash is down, Lissandra in a lot of trouble, but the Claw is going to get her to safety. Skarner, his claws aren't quite safe, he drops now, it's going to be Zhao picking up a double kill for himself, cold now into the turret is the Nunu, Yasuo's got that last breath, going to be able to find the damage there, but Blitzcrank now the target of this Team 7 aggression, a triple kill for Vayne, another kill for Gangplank, that is going to be an ace for one. Team 7 still dominating this game.
Team 7 is gonna get an inhibitor off of this. Maybe even a beast turret. No, it's only 10-15 seconds on the timers. I forgot how early on in the game it is. You usually don't see a tower dive like that. But because fail mode initiated the grab and they pulled Siri under the
Talon leading Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser walks up. He thinks he's safe to just clear those creeps away. He thinks that Team 7's just gonna walk away. What he fails to realize is that in that fight, Talon's ult wasn't popped because it was still down where he used it defensively in mid lane. It had just come back online. Talon had his ignite up and he saw his window to just take Mordekaiser out 100-0.
SW making that look easy too. Absolutely demolished him. But one thing I want to touch about Blitzcrank, if you're not the one making the moves, if you're not the one initiating the pick comp, he offers very little to the team. Yeah, you've got a cool little AoE silence and a knock-up, but yet again, you're a melee range champion. When you're kiting, the last place you want to be is that close to the enemy team. That's the whole reason why you're kiting in the first place. So he offers very little in terms of defensiveness to the team.
Team 7 going for this Baron. It's Lissandra looking to throw the claw in, but blue team secures that one nice and easy. Is it going to be the Beetle Bandits able to make anything happen out of this? Or will Team 7 just win the game right here? Talon wants to win the game. He finds the kill on the Yasuo. The Mordekaiser ult is down, but it's not finding anything quite just yet. The Gangplank ult claims 2. A double kill for Talon now. Lissandra in the middle of 3, but she's going to drop now. Zorak is on a rampage. Nunu trying to chase down this last remaining member of the Beetle Bandits. Radbed doing what he can to try to survive, but you've got no mobility on a Juggernaut. The snowball slows him down. It's a 4-for-1, a 5-for-1.
That's going to be the game.
Mycroft, the only one dropping on Team 7 as they now close in on the Nexus turrets. They're going to end the game right here and now if they have anything to say about it. Nexus turret number 1 will drop. The barrels are there. Gangplank's going to ignite those, grab the dot back onto that turret again. Nexus turret number 2 is down. The Nexus is falling. Half HP now is the story as it looks like Team 7 just going to BM channel that teleport and take the game right here. 22 minutes in, Team 7 prevails over the Beetle Bandits.
That was by far the quickest match I have seen all day long. Theory the Empress carrying the early game with duo roam combo from Mycroft, absolutely taking over Skarner's jungle. They get the wards in, they make the picks, they get all the early dragons. A 20-minute Baron with the already downed inhibitor translates after the ace into a victory.
GG well played from both sides. A very, very strong performance coming out from Team 7. Vayne finishing that 11-2. Nunu finishing that game with 14 assists, 16 on Braum. They knew what they were doing. They were constantly playing aggressive with that early Nunu control, and it worked out for them. Great job, Team 7. Beetle Bandits going to have to be looking for revenge here in the coming weeks.
All right, thanks you everyone for watching our stream today. We really appreciate the time you've given. Check us out on the websites. We got Reddit, Facebook, Twitter. We got YouTube channels. We got the VODs on Twitch here as well. And if you want to get in on these games, we run in-houses throughout the week. It's a 5v5 custom match. All you got to do is join our in-game chat room, which is House Party 5v5. Thank you for everybody in your time today. We appreciate it.